My name's Nico Lagan, and I'm too conservative for the conservatives. My co-host Rob Ambrose, not woke enough for the liberals. We are the political orphans. As always, we want to hear from you. So yes, you need to like. Yes, you need to reshare this stream. You need to subscribe to the channel. But first and foremost, we want to hear from you. So go to the YouTube channel at the Political Orphans. Drop a comment so that we can know how you feel about this damn budget that was tabled today. Because obviously, today was budget day. So we're going to be talking about the budget. And we're also going to be talking about other stuff like Bill C3, if I remember correctly, the new bill that the NDP have tabled, or actually that passed. Damn.
Is that you? Is that me or you?
It's definitely you. Yeah, I would say that it's definitely you. I always blame other people, right? So it's easier to blame others for my problems than to face reality. Yeah, exactly, Wilf. While Rob is playing with his microphone, what budget? Yeah, that's a good fucking point.
That's you, brother. I was muted.
But there was no noise. Now see, as soon as you re-enabled it,
no, there was a noise. It's not me.
No. Mute yourself. There you go. Noise stops. If you're the only one hearing it, that means it's you, because we don't hear it right now. There's no noise right now. Hey guys, in the comment section, do you still hear a noise right now, or has the high pitch, like when you aim a microphone at a speaker? Because that's exactly what it sounds like.
You guys didn't hear that? Like, oh, okay, so it is me. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What is that? Is it because am I getting too close to my mic? It sounds like feedback of some sort.
No. Yeah. See. Kenzie's saying nope, can't hear when he's muted.
Me. Yeah,
it's it's I used to organize rap shows back in the days. Well, I haven't admitted to that for a long time, but that's when the microphone is aimed. Oh, bro. No, I'm not gonna. But
yeah,
when you have microphone, when you have
mom spaghetti.
When you have mic, no, it was way before Eminem, bro. I was rapping when Eminem wasn't even on the map. But it's when microphones are aimed. Yeah, microphones.
Yeah, they
when
pick
they're
up
aimed,
their sound, and it just keeps.
It's a loop, yeah.
Or something. Yeah.
The noise. Hold on, Sasquatch. I don't need. Hold on. I don't even need to take this. I have to take this one because I don't even. It's Sasquatch. The noise is gone. Rob, we're not here to troubleshoot your technical difficulties, as I've been trying to.
Nico's the king of technical difficulties. I get one once in a while.
Once in a while. Yes.
No, this one, where was it? Will said here, Nico need to check out Dallas Brody. So I actually reached out to her. I tried to reach out to her to see if she'd come on the show, because I think she'd be great.
Who's Dallas Brody?
So she's a BC politician. I believe she's a member of she's the only one of her party. I think the party's called BC.
One BC.
One BC.
It's conservative.
Yeah, and she's speaking out hard about this Cowichan thing. Basically, like, she tabled a bill making land acknowledgements basically not like illegal, but like that governments weren't allowed to do them.
Yeah.
And she just, I think she'd be a great guest, but she doesn't accept DMs on Twitter. So all I could do was like respond on one of her threads, like to message me, and she never got back. But you're pretty good at that. You should give it a whirl. So you can
already on it.
Should be a great guest. Oh, and then the BC Indigenous, whatever, like the grandfather chief of all of them, held a press conference either today or yesterday saying that she should be kicked out of the legislature because she's so racist. When all, like, they just can't stand any politician actually saying no to them after all these decades where they get whatever they want.
But again, that's their expectations, right? They're used to getting away with saying anything. If we tell them that if they say to us what we're supposed to do or not to do, especially, and we don't listen, they get mad. So obviously she's not going to like somebody that's going to call her bullshit or his bullshit and just say, yeah, fuck you. Like, screw you. That has no place in government.
Truth and reconciliation was meant to unite the country, not divide it, and that's absolutely what it's becoming. It's gone too far, and we need politicians to just start saying no, because you can just say no. It's not that fucking hard. You can just say no to Indigenous demands. And, you know, Wise Guy says they're doing it in Western Quebec now. Yep, New Brunswick as well. This is, and I saw something today saying that this is one of like the biggest stories being followed by just the average Canadian right now, because it affects everyone. What's interesting is not on any mainstream media. Mainstream media is
what's that? What's the main story you're saying?
Cowichan, basically. So, you know, the people in Richmond, BC, who got that letter saying, you know, you might not own your land. Turns out they're starting to come out now, and they're saying, listen, like one guy said, I was due for a refinance my mortgage, or every 5 years you have to renew your mortgage. They won't renew it.
Yeah,
so you just can't get a mortgage. You can't. There's other people saying that they can no longer they can't sell their properties. Essentially, the property value of all those homes is zero. The property value went to zero, and if you're relying on that to fund your retirement, which is what most people are doing who own homes, like, talk about getting the fucking rug swept from under you. This is their life savings that's disappeared. Yeah, they have a roof over their head, but it's not a nest egg anymore. This is a massive story. And
what's the name? What's the name? How can I find a video? Because, bro, it's my third live in a row. I've literally recorded 4 hours almost
Dallas
of live
Brody
now. So
is her name.
But is she the one that's talking against it?
Yeah, she's the one speaking out against it, and then she's the one that the Chiefs are trying to get kicked out of the legislature. It's you know, we talk about if there's going to be an election or not, and I'm sure we'll get into that. But one thing that's pretty clear to me is, you know, Polyev, they released they're putting out messaging saying that, like, if there's an election, they're going to go for we can deal with Trump, which is just such a lame, boring, no nonsense way to attack this election. This is what he should be doing in the election. He should be making this Indigenous thing that's a fucking like immigration, this Indigenous land grab, crime, and just the affordability crisis. But like, crime and affordability are all related to immigration, really. So it's this land grab and immigration. He should just be hammering those points again and again and again. Because if you think about it, he's got to steal boomers. He's got to peel some of the boomers away if he hopes to win this election. And that's one issue. They don't really care about immigration. They're shielded from it. But that's one issue. If now all of a sudden their home might be taken from them, now the boomers are going to start to actually care.
Yeah, they're not going to care. I don't think that at this point, there is nothing that you can do right now that will defer the boomers, Carney voters. Because obviously, as we know here, there's a bunch of boomers that are not liberal voters anymore. Like, they've seen the light. But that 49%, as per the polls, that let's call it 50% of the boomers that are saying that they would still vote for the liberals, you're not going to pursue them. You're not going to change their mind because they're not hurting. We were just talking about that during the budget right now, and that's the biggest problem. Is because the only group in Canada that hasn't been touched by the past 10 years of liberal policies, that actually benefited from the past 10 years of liberal policies, are the boomers. They're not going to listen, man. They're not going to listen.
I agree with
you. Need to hurt. You need to hurt.
There's been no. They've been insulated. They've been insulated, and you know why they've been 100%. Insulated though? They've been insulated because the wealth that their home ownership has brought them has insulated 100%. But now, if something comes out that, oh shit, their home might be taken from them, that's going to scare the shit out of them.
It is not real. In their heads, it's never gonna happen. This is a small place in BC somewhere where nobody gives a fuck. I'm not saying that this is true. What I'm saying is, I'm just saying out loud what they're thinking. I'm not saying that this is what I'm saying. This is what I agree on. But they're just gonna say, you know what? Nobody gives a fuck. I don't care. Because for you to still vote for Carney, let's say that there was an election on Christmas, for you to still vote for Carney, let's assume that I believe in the voting system, that it's not a massive fraud. For you to believe that Carney's your man, you have not been paying attention at all. You've been listening to CBC. You've never questioned what CBC, CTV News have told you. You've only listened to your side. You've been in an echo chamber for the past 6 to 8 months.
Yep.
They haven't seen that story anywhere. They haven't heard of the story of that guy that I talked about last week, where the guy's just, yep, the bank won't renew my mortgage right now. I've had that house for 30 years. They won't renew me. So he's like, what the fuck do I do now, right? What am I supposed to do now? But that's a reality in Richmond, BC, because I'm not finding the video that people are talking about. So if you guys have a link, send it over. Sometimes it's hard to find stuff when you're...
The Dallas Brody one?
Yeah, everything I can find is like 4 or 5 days old. Is that what you guys are talking about? Is it that?
Out against? Okay.
Oh, I'm just curious to. Oh shit, Brody was on. Oh, there you go. There's Mayan. I know how to get access to her because I record with David Creighton every Wednesday. So guess what? I do have his phone number that I can call. And Brody was on his show this morning. So, hey man.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be really great. Yeah, because she's like a firecracker out there, man. She is not giving a fuck. She is.
Hold on. What's her first name? Brody.
Dallas.
What's her first name? Brody Dallas.
Dallas Brody. If you go to her
Dallas
ex,
Brody.
like she retweeted that press conference where they're trying to kick her out of the BC legislature. She's I think she'd be a great guest. Robert Bard says, if they can prove that the property value is now zero, then they can petition the city for zero property taxes. Yeah, that's the angle they're going for. But I believe the city of Richmond has said, even if it's at zero, sorry guys, you're still on the hook for your property tax. Can you imagine how fucking retarded that is? They say, oh, you don't own your house anymore. You can't sell it. You don't have any equity. You're basically, all the wealth in that home that you were relying on is gone, but it's now worth nothing. However, for purposes of tax, we're going to pretend it's still worth what we thought it was before when it was yours, and we're going to tax you on that. That is what it sounds like the city of Richmond is going to be doing, and that is absolutely insane. Now, that they can fight it, and I'm sure they will, and I think they're already organizing. I think there's a law firm that's already taken their case. But we're in unprecedented waters. And one thing that's clear, they're going to take your shit from you, but the government's not going to be the one holding the bag. It's going to be you. It's going to be the homeowners that are going to be holding the bag. Government's going to get their pound of flesh.
So, yeah, it seems a couple of people have seen her on David Creighton today. So I just reached out to David Creighton. I reached out to David Creighton. I reached out to somebody else to see, fuck, you guys just need to ask. If she does interview, I'll find a way to get her on. I will find a way. Plus, if you say she was on Creighton this morning, I literally am recording with him tomorrow. So worst case scenario, I'll wait until tomorrow if he doesn't get back to me, but chances are we're going to get her on the show. Oh, by the way, just so you guys know, I'm going to be on Pat King's podcast tomorrow. Driving down, we're going to go. Yeah, I've never met him in person. We've recorded a few times together. No, it's not live. It's he has a massive production. Like they have the studio, they have the producers, they're not like two bozos like you and I just recording this, taking care of everything ourselves. He actually has a team, unlike me.
He's got a professional operation. Yeah.
Oh, bro, I've been on podcasts where they had like 6-7 people working the whole time. Like you get up, they set up the mic, people are setting up the camera, the lights, they have all the devices. You basically just sit down and you're like,
yeah, it's a different.
This is not a different.
Yeah.
We don't roll this way right now. No. But yeah, I'm gonna see, guys, because you want to have her. I'm gonna do my best to have Dallas Brody on the show. So hopefully that happens.
Yeah, she'd be a great guest, I think. I'll take a few more comments here, and then we'll jump into the topics of the day. I don't know. You want to take
La chèvre noire. La chèvre noire.
I figured you would know that.
It's French, bro.
He says 0 times 0 equals 0, and of course he's talking about property taxes, right? If your property is worth 0 and you don't own it, then of course you should not pay property taxes. But that's in a sane world, right? That's in a normal, reasonable world, and that's not the world that we're in. And in a sane world, this would never fucking happen in the first place. So we're already in crazy town. I don't think that. Yeah, what you're saying is perfectly commonsensical. I just think we're long past commonsensical. At the end of the day, like I said, the government is going to get their pound of flesh. It ain't going to be them holding the bag. And it ain't going to be the Indigenous, because they've got woke virtue signaling points that they have to that they've got to check. So it'll be the regular ass Canadians, as it always is.
But the last time I checked, this was still in Supreme Court. This in the Supreme Court, or did they go with?
It hasn't gone to the Supreme Court of Canada yet. It has to.
No, BC. No, of BC. Oh,
it's
really? A Supreme Court. Sure.
Yeah. Oh, so this was not a Supreme Court decision yet. This is like a lower court.
No, last time I checked, it was the city that made it possible, because I remember reading that David Ibby, the BC of the premier BC, was like, yeah, this is not right, because he was scared that people would start leaving BC, because guess what? Buy a house here so that we can take it away from you in 5 years. That doesn't look good for anybody that wants to go to BC.
Well, that's why he's terrified. He looked like a deer in headlights at that press conference he did the other day. He's desperately trying to throw the courts under the bus, but he sounded like a whiny loser. He was saying, he was like, oh, I don't know. He was like, I was told that this ruling would not affect private home ownership in this area. And so we didn't, because he was asked, why didn't you tell the people whose homes are going to be taken from them? And he was like, well, I was told by the judge that it wasn't going to affect private home ownership. So we never thought we had to, not only that, wasn't that they didn't think they had to warn them. The judge would not allow them. So there's something real sketchy going on. And why is even the judge talking to the premier like that? Like that feels sketchy in the first place. Like just to be discussing the details of an ongoing case that the judge has yet to rule on. This whole story stinks. This is this is crazy.
So it was a court decision, but like it was originally, like I read, it was a Richmond court decision, but the Supreme, I remember that it was going to the Supreme Court, but there was an update. I'm seeing an update from about 12 hours ago saying the Supreme Court of British Columbia in August recognized the Cowichan people's Aboriginal title over a slice of Richmond. So it seems like it's standing. So yeah. I don't know what the next step is.
It's done as of now. Now there are remedies. Like I suspect, as La Chevre says, I think La Chevre Noire. What is it? Yeah. What does it mean?
I'm gonna go get the translation for you, because I can't remember what the name of the. I can't remember if it's goat, if it translates to goat.
Okay. He says, I think people will contest ruling. For sure they will. It as of right now it's settled, but there are remedies, or it can go to the Supreme Court of Canada, and I think it will. It's just too big of a story. It's too crazy. Wise guy, I don't see it here, but he said something about, I think the banks will force the government to do it, and I think something like that will happen. The banks have the power to kind of nudge the government's hand, but this is just too disruptive. You can't just start taking homes from people who have paid mortgages for 30 years and are relying on this. That is like, I mean, I know that you think that the boomers are permanently asleep, but if there's anything that will wake them up, it will be this, because that's the only thing that insulates them, is the wealth given to them by their home ownership. What's that?
But it will be too late. By the time people, because right now it's a very small place in BC where we're not hearing about, media is able to get away from really talking about it, and they especially, but it's gonna grow. You might, it's gonna grow. No, because people don't realize what it means. People don't want to admit to themselves that this is tyrannical. This is how governments take your property outright. By this being ruled at the Supreme Court level has set a precedent within the BC province that a tribe can go to the government and go after private ownership. The precedent is there. So they need to remove that precedent, because guess what's going to happen? It's going to start happening all over Canada. But by the time it starts happening all over Canada, you're screwed. Because remember what they say, right? Sure, the process might be, maybe the decision eventually is going to come down and say, you know what? That's unconstitutional. We can't do that. How long have you been fighting it? How long have you been paying for lawyers? By that time, people are screwed. Just, again, we said this so many times, right? The process has become the punishment. And I'm telling you, people are not going to wake up to this because people don't want to admit to themselves that it is a possibility. If there's one thing COVID has taught me, is that that whole government doesn't like you, doesn't care about you, doesn't care about your rights, is too big of a pill to swallow for the average individual out there. They don't want to believe that the country in which they live, the government will go after you, will force you to do things that you don't want to do. Although, look at what happened through COVID. The evidence is right there. You don't need to look far. Just look within the past 5 years. They don't want to believe that it's a possibility that after investing, let's say 25 years of their lives paying for a house that is now theirs, that is their main equity, they don't want to believe that there's a possibility that the government is going to go after them. They don't even want to believe, although that the Liberal Party has spoken about this before, that there will be an equity tax on their property. Talk to your parents. Ask them if they believe that at one point they will receive an envelope saying, hey, we see that your house is worth $1 million. You have $700,000 of equity. Guess what? You owe us $150,000. Thank you. And if you don't pay, we're going to seize your fucking house. We're going to sell it and you can keep the rest. People don't want to believe that this is a possibility. Remember, those people have been in Canada their whole life for 60, let's say 65 years for sake of argument. They've never seen Canada the way that it is right now. They've never experienced what Canada is for the rest of us because they've always been shielded. So for you to try to tell them that it is now a possibility that the government is going after the only thing that they have left, they'll never believe you. They don't want to believe you because it's too hard to believe. It's going to have to impact them directly. They're going to have to see a neighbor. They're going to have to see a family member, a friend that it's going to happen to. They won't believe the TV. Well, because remember, they believe
this story's going to grow.
They believe
this story's going to grow big time.
But this has been going on for weeks, if not months, man. I've been following this story
but the media
forever.
has, like the mainstream media. So, like my parents, who I've talked about before, are kind of that typical kind of brainwashed boomer type. They don't really get too involved. They're very concerned about this, and they only know about it because I told them.
Exactly.
But my point is, it's going to get so big that mainstream media will not be able to ignore it anymore at some point over the next couple of weeks, is what I think. And once that happens, the boomers, once CBC plays it or CTV, the boomers will be like, oh shit, what's going on in BC? Well, the fuck, they might take our homes? What the fuck? I thought land acknowledgements were just to be kind.
You sound like me when COVID just happened, saying, guys, like in my head, I was like, no, this can't continue. People are never going to fall for this. They're never going to fall for the 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Come on, guys. You can't believe this shit. And then we turned out that we needed passport to go to the restaurant. This is what happened to people and they still didn't change. You really believe that this is the story after they got their freedoms taken away? They're going to be, oh yeah, I'm going to stand up to my government. No, they're going to lie to themselves, ignore the problem until it affects them. But most people are not going to be affected by that problem. Tribes are not going to go for people in but they're not going to go in urban areas. They're not going to go in Montreal. They're not going to go in fucking... They're not going to go into Edmonton. They're not going to go to Calgary. They're not going to go into Ottawa. They're not. They're never going to allow that. But those small, outside of the country, like outside in the middle of nowhere, they don't care. People don't care about them. I've lived outside there most of my life. People don't give a fuck about you when you don't live in an urban center. You don't have the votes either way. there's a good reason why liberals are still elected. It's not because of the remote areas. It's always because of the urban centers. They are shielded. They're shielded from the. Plus, what are they going to go after people's fucking apartments and condos in the city? Of course not. Indians, sorry, the natives don't give a fuck about your condo. They want your very nice Richmond place that has a golf course. You think that's come on. They wait for.
They don't want, like, they're not going to kick people out and move their cousins there. What they're going to do is be like, oh, nice home you have here. Well, you're going to have to pay a fee to the tribe.
Mafia style.
Yeah, be ashamed if something happened to it. Nice home you have here.
I think you need some protection.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a giant protection. That's exactly what it is.
Of course. Yes.
True North Transparency says the natives were conquered and it's not their land anymore. Like, yeah, of course. That's not,
Thank you, sir.
It's not stolen land. It's fucking conquered land, man. This is how the world worked back then. And it actually still works today. If you're strong enough to take land, it's yours. Now, the world has changed. Powerful countries don't go around conquering land and settling them. But back then they did. Why should we be punished today? Because our ancestors just happened to be really good at it. And this whole idea of, it was their land. Isn't their whole thing is they didn't have land ownership, right? They were just existing and at one with nature. So they didn't even own the land back then, but they own it today.
We believe in land ownership.
They fucking their great grandfathers fished there 400 years ago. It's garbage. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense.
Bro, it's like reparation in the US. To me, there's no difference. My ancestors from 200 years ago, 100 years ago, you, white guy, that your ancestors might have owned slaves, you need to pay me, descendant of a descendant of slave, money because I deserve it. Fuck you, you don't.
Yeah,
you don't.
No,
I was not the one that owned slave, and guess what, motherfucker? Yeah. You weren't a slave either.
Yeah, exactly. So at the end of the day, you can't. If someone said, if you said, okay, would you support putting a 5-year-old in jail because his father committed a murder? Anyone would say, no, of course, that's ridiculous. It's the same principle applied to that. Yeah. Like, you cannot be responsible for the sins of your father or your great grandfathers. That's just a fundamental worldview that most sane people have. But of course, the world has gone collectively insane. At least the West has. As Kenzie says,
I'm very curious to see, but I'm curious to see if it's going to spread. Because if it's going to spread, I'm going to be laughing my ass off. Because it's going to be too late. But if it starts spreading all over the place, it's going to be too late.
But that's what I think is going to happen. Because you're starting to see the other tribes across Canada. Like there's a claim in Quebec now.
Obviously, of course they would. Oh, why wouldn't they?
Oh shit! Whitey's giving us our land back. Whitey's giving us land. Jesus Christ! Okay, get to the courthouse quick. Before these idiots clue in. But that's why I think the mainstream media would love to bury this story, but I think it's going to be too big, and it's going to scare the shit out of the boomers. They I don't know. I think maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle, where maybe I'm being too sort of optimistic that the boomers will see sense. But I think you also, your personal history, like going against COVID as hard as you did back then, I think that's locked in some things in your mind. Things like people never change, or nothing will, like stuff like that won't,
it has nothing to do with
I don't think that's necessarily
It has
true
nothing
either.
to do. No, but it's not about my personal lives. Just read history. History repeats itself. Nobody learns. We don't the Bible. You can read the Bible. There's kings in the Bible is all about how fucking stupid we are, and instead of believing in God, we want kings that are faulty humans. So it's everywhere. I don't care where you look. We're fucking morons. Human beings are fucking stupid.
But history is also full of like people putting up with a lot of shit and living under like crazy oppression. And in the moment, I'm sure there's people saying nothing will ever change until it does. Like the French Revolution,
but they're not 65-year-old or 70-year-old people that haven't moved out of their house for fucking 6 years. Those people are normally young. It's young people that die in battles. There's a good reason why. They're normally the youngies that are going to stand up. They're not the oldies. Sorry for the oldies out there. My apologies. I don't mean to be rude, but
Yeah, I mean,
the people that are standing up to fight this shit, because at the end of the day, let's say that they wake up.
It's gonna be
let's say that they wake up. Let's say that they wake up. Let's say that you're right. They wake up. This spreads throughout Canada. What the fuck are they going to do? They're going to stand up in arms and go fight the government?
Well, no, I think they just stopped voting Liberal. And that's what, remember we started talking this because I was saying Poilievre should get on this fucking horse now. He should get out there and say, elect me and I will stop land grabs from, frivolous Indigenous claims stealing your home.
But until it's going to take a lot more.
If they think that there's a risk to their like, I know what you're saying, that they need to hurt. They haven't hurt for probably most of their lives, but this is the one thing that could really hurt them. I guess I'll put it this way: if anything is going to wake them up, it will be this issue.
I said the same thing about COVID, and goddamn, I was wrong. And it's interesting because there's a land grab happening in Quebec. Like, obviously, it hasn't happened yet, and I think somebody mentioned it in the comment section. But you're looking at Richmond. It's somewhere around 8 kilometers square foot. 8 kilometers square, or 8 square kilometers. God damn, it's hard. The one that's been dropped, there is a tribe, First Nation file lawsuits in demanding Aboriginal title over lands in Western Quebec. You know how big the...
I mean, that's amazing.
8,000 square kilometers, not 8 square kilometers. 8,000 square kilometers. Yeah, it is. Hold on, I have it right here. So Quebec refuse.
The media would love
blah, 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 blah. Oh, sure. They want the White Duck said in an interview speaking from the First Nations located on the shores of the Gatineau River near Maniwaki. When we talk about titles and ownership and having a say in the management of the resource, there's no say. So basically, they're looking at prime fucking location on the Gatineau River.
Yeah.
8,000 square kilometers.
If they stuck to the rural areas, like you said, they probably could slip under the radar. But now they're just they're gonna think it's a land grab. And at the end of the day, this is garbage. And this is where land acknowledgements lead, right? At some point, if we keep saying this isn't our land, this is, we are only here because the natives allow us, blah, blah, blah. Sooner or later, some of them, we're going to go to court and be like, hey, these motherfuckers, they're admitting that this is our land. So courts, please give it to us. And some jackass, woke, retarded judge out in BC, you knew it was going to be BC, decided, that's reasonable, with no concept of like how much, or maybe they did have a concept, and that that was why she did it, because she was a female judge.
Oh wow, surprising. Hold on. Yeah. Here is a guy. I'm just gonna read the title, then I'll show you the picture just so that you can laugh your ass off. But this is the same event. So the Quetigam Zibi files land claim over large swath of Western Quebec, including Gatineau Park. Oh, Jesus, one of the most popular park in Quebec. Awesome. Claims against the Quebec and Canadian government also includes a $5 billion lawsuit. And here is, I'm not going to say his first name. I'm going to say it after. The last name is White Duck. He is the chief of the Quetigam Zibi Ashanabeg tribe.
Is he the guy that's actually white as fuck? Like he's just a white guy.
His name is Jean-Guy. His name's Jean-Guy. His name is Jean-Guy White Duck.
They're laughing at us. Of course he would be called White Duck. Fucking, this is ridiculous.
His name is Jean-Guy.
He's just a white guy, man.
Bro, look at me. I look more native than that fucking white ass.
Yeah, you do.
I'm darker than that. Oh no, bro, there's some native in my blood. My parents went fucking around. There's people in my ancestors that went fucking around with natives.
Oh, but
probably we have white guys. That's probably why he's called White Duck. Because white.
Of course it is. Yeah, he's just a white guy. They're like, oh, white. So what's your Indian name? Let's just call this white guy White Duck. They probably called him White Devil.
Duck. Yeah, that's what it means. Yeah,
white
But-
duck.
8,000 square kilometers. Gatineau
crazy.
River, Gatineau Park. Hey, nothing's too nice for you guys, huh?
Yeah, you can. It's not going to happen. It's not. It's just too disruptive. But it's going to cause a whole lot of problems for a whole lot of people before they actually put a stop to it.
Oh, see, there you go. Oh, that's interesting. That I would love to fucking see that. Cheryl Arnold is saying there's a native tribe that just filed a land claim in Canada because they
It's
used to
open
be
season,
their
man.
tribe
It's
used to be.
open season.
But you know that would never fly in the US. So they're like,
No, yeah, of course not. Yeah, of course not.
Where can we try? Hey, Canada's stupid enough
And
to
of
give
course,
us
you know,
land.
there's some fucking woke judge like, oh yeah, okay, let's give it to them. Their ancestors fished here too 400 years ago. The crazy thing about that Cowichan or Cowichan claim is there was another tribe that made a same claim, and the judge said, no, your claim's not valid, but these guys are. Like, how are you even picking one tribe over the next? It's crazy, man.
They were white enough.
Yeah, white duck was in
No,
charge.
sorry.
Yeah.
One was too white. They went for the native.
Oh yes, yeah.
Whoever was higher on the totem pole of wokeness.
literally
Totem pole.
Comment from Dano Ashawasaga. I'm native and I agree with you, but from my own point of view, all of this is way too easy and suspicious. Really, the government hadn't listened to us for years and years, and now all of a sudden. Of course, all of a sudden they are playing nice. Come on, what's the end game? I agree with Nico and them trying to remove Christians and Catholics. Those are our friends and family too. I don't get it. Yeah, I mean, I have no doubt that there's a lot of native Indigenous people who don't agree with this because they just want to be part of society. Like they don't want to tear society apart. And this is what this will do. This will tear society apart. And frankly, I think it's short-sighted because, you know, what was that stat that came out the other day where it said how much the government spent over the last 15 or 20 years, like on defense, on education, on health, and on reconciliation? It was like a crazy number. It was like $80 billion on reconciliation.
Of course it is.
Indigenous people got a pretty sweet deal, man, you know, and most people are just happy to let that occur, you know, like they don't pay taxes, they get free education. If you live in the reserve, of course, you're taken care of. I'm not saying there aren't issues on reserves or anything like that. Of course there are, but there's a pretty sweet golden goose here for Indigenous people. But if the mood changes drastically because now it feels like they're coming to take your home, that might end up backfiring on them. You know, maybe because they will put a stop to it. They're not going to let an Indigenous tribe take the fucking Gatineau River, Gatineau Park, and all the people's property who lives in those homes. And then once they actually start to get in the habit of saying no to Indigenous demands, because we just have never done that. Now all of a sudden people are going to start looking at, okay, what are we spending this $5 billion a year on actually, or $10 billion or whatever that number is. And now, like up until now, you can't touch that stuff, right? That's a sacred cow in Canadian politics. You can't ever say, "Hey, should we maybe think about if we're spending too much on you know, reconciliation or Indigenous?" But once the fever breaks, if they start saying no, because they will have to say no if these guys are trying to get the Gatineau River and all the prime real estate that goes along with that. Well, once you've said no to that, then everything else is fair game. So I think it's pretty short-sighted.
Hold on.
But also, I appreciate that comment, Dano. And like I said, I think, yeah, of course, as Pam said, don't hate the natives; they're just being used. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I know I have.
But hold on. They're not being used. They're just opportunistic people everywhere. I don't care the color of your skin. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole. Yes. I will never judge you for your color of your skin. I'll judge you by your actions.
Yep.
But to say that they're not being used, they're using
that too if they could. Absolutely.
Jean-Guy White Duck is passing as a native.
Like a white duck.
Everybody's gonna take, like, not everybody, but a lot of people out there will take advantage of whatever the fuck they can. And guess what? The leaders of those native nations are taking advantage of their people. They're getting millions and hundreds of millions, if not billions, every year. And some of the state of those native lands are destructed. They're destroyed. They're in shambles. People can't even fucking have clean water. They blame us. Hey, bitch, you get millions every year.
Yep.
Maybe you should check to your leaders, right?
It's because they just
maybe
gave it to
White
the chief.
Duck is to blame. Maybe
Jean-Guy
White Duck is to blame, right?
Yeah, they just give it to the chiefs, and we're not allowed to even know what they do with that money. And there are some decent chiefs, I'm sure, who actually spend the money on their communities, and those are the ones that don't have water problems because they all get enough money to deal with that shit. The ones with the water problems, their chiefs are just pocketing it, and they're paying off their buddies. It's just basic corruption. And as you say, it's nothing to do with any type of race. This is fundamental human nature.
Yep,
we can't allow it for any race.
Crooks are gonna use any fucking advantage that they have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever it is.
Oh, Jason dropped in. What's up, brother?
Mr. Jason's going on, man.
The New York City election. Yeah, how is that going? Zoran Mamdani.
I hope Mamdani wins just so that I can laugh.
I think he will. It's wild. The financial capital of the fucking world is electing at least a
communist, communist Muslim that was raised with money. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful. This is so ironic, but at the same time, we had a prime minister that never held a job outside of being a part-time teacher, raised in fucking luxury. And we voted for him because he was cute. So I can laugh at Mamdani in New York all I want and the people of New York. Yeah, we don't have anything. We should shut the fuck up in Canada because we're pretty fucking stupid. We just voted for the same... We literally just voted for the same party and said that it'd be different. And now during the budget today, they're telling us how they're going to change the problems of the past few years. Hey, assholes, you created the problem. Man, that budget today, bro... Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. It was about nothing. They spoke about nothing. They literally didn't give real numbers. It was all blah, 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 blah for an hour and something. And nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing except generational investment. It's going to cost you a shit ton of money. That's for damn sure. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But goddamn, man. We're so fucked. We're so fucked. And we had shit, what's his name? Damn, I'm drawing a blank. Hold on, I have him here. He was an MP. He was part of the
the guy who
he was under Harper.
He crossed the floor. The conservative who became a liberal.
No. We did an analysis, right? We had Nadine. We had, god damn it, my brain is not working. I've been doing this for too long today. Who was it? It was Nadine.
I wonder what's Polyev said about the budget. Like, do we have any idea if they're gonna support
you know what, man? He made it sound like he wasn't going to vote for it. He was going to vote against it. That's what he made it sound. We don't know yet because yesterday. But hold on, yesterday we were talking about the process. So basically, I went and I checked the process just to make sure we're all on the same page. So today, November 4th, they tabled the budget. So literally, unless you were working on the budget, you had no idea what it is. Nobody knew what the fucking budget is outside of the people that were working on it. Then on November 5th, 6th, 7, and 17, there's going to be debates in the House. And the reason they go from 7 to 17th is that during the week of Remembrance Day, next week, they don't hold Parliament. And the final vote will take place on November 17th. So tomorrow, over the rest of the week, basically, they're going to debate it in the House. On the 17th, they're going to finish the debate, and then they're going to vote. But it's pretty clear that it seemed at least Poilievre's not going to vote for it. That's how he made it sound today. but the NDP is basically going to step away, which is going to give the Liberals a win by default, because they would need, in order for the bill not to pass,
you think they're gonna,
it's just going to restrain from, they're just going to restrain from voting, but you would need the Bloc, the NDP, and the Conservative to everybody vote against the Liberal platform for it to not pass, which is not going to happen. The NDP is not gonna vote, so chances are we're not going to see an election. But I'm curious to see the budget. Yeah, they're going to abstain, exactly. Bro, this girl we need to have on the show, man. Nadine Wellwood, I have her information. She deals with economy on a world stage, on a Canadian stage. That woman, bro, is just, she was breaking that down like she's a beast. And I called her a hothead. She's similar to me. Like, she loses her shit. She goes on rants, but she is so knowledgeable. Like, she was insane to listen to. Rob Ambrose is the other guy. I don't know. We're going to have her on. She already agrees to come on. Is Rob, not Ambrose. Rob, God damn it. Man, my memory sucks. Now it really bothers me. Hold on. I'll find who he was. Rob.
Yeah, we should have
her.
She can kind of give us a breakdown of the budget.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. Like, she's somebody that once we can get our Anders, thank you. Once we can get our hands on the budget, it'd be a great breakdown.
Yeah.
Like, to just do a deep dive like we do with John from the Justice Center. We should do the same thing. So I'll reach out to her tomorrow she's amazing, man. God damn, that woman is a beast. So definitely. But today was all fluff, man. It was all fluff. All fluff. All fluff.
Yeah. Wise Guy says, I think the cons and Bloc will barter back and forth with the Libs until they agree to pass a budget watered down like Bill C2 was, then no election until March. So I don't know, because the thing is, I think the Liberals really want an election, right? So they don't have any incentive to actually negotiate with the Bloc or the cons. I think the cons don't want elections, so the cons will try to, in good faith, maybe add some amendments or water down the budget. But I just think the Liberals are going to, they think they're going to get a majority, and so I mean, at the end of the day, if they want an election, then they can basically have one, because all they have to do is just not agree to change their budget whatsoever. They can say something like, this is the best budget for Canadians, and we're not going to sell Canadians out by changing it or watering it down, which is nonsense, of course, but that's what they'll say. That will give them the cover that they need. And then the Conservatives have no choice. They won't be able to vote for it. They'll have to vote it down. I think we're going to see an election.
I don't see it, but I'm curious, Wise Guy, why are you saying no if you bring up this comment again? Because there was a part at the end that speaks about was then no election till March or so. Why would there be an election in March?
Yeah, I don't.
This is what I don't get. People keep saying that we should wait till the spring, and I'm not saying that's what you're saying, Wise Guy, but you're referring to kind of the spring timeline. So why would the Liberals want to call an election in March, April, May? Why? They don't have to table another budget. I don't think what's going on. No, but that's my point. If they want one right now, because it's going to get a lot worse for them as they don't make deals, as the economy continues going.
That's the thing. A year from now, they would probably lose an election because the economy is going to be in the shitter, and they're going to get blamed because they're the one. Well, I mean, they should be, because they're actually the ones at fault. But even if they weren't at fault, just the way that politics works, the party in power gets blamed when the economy goes in the shitter, and they will be very unpopular. And that's why they want to lock in 4 years with a majority.
Okay, I see what he's saying is because the NDP is having the leadership race in March. They're not going to change anything. The NDP is they're socialist.
They don't have to say. Yeah.
But there's not much difference between the Liberals and the NDP anymore. There used to be, but there's not really a difference between the two. They pretty much align on most things. So why would they vote against the Liberals? Plus, don't forget that they have to suck up to the Liberals because they lost their funding. They didn't elect enough people last time in order to have their official opposition status. They don't have it anymore. They cannot afford to go in an election. Even if they wanted to, they have no federal funding anymore. They can't cover the cost of running people in all the ridings in Canada. They can't do it. So even if they wanted to, they can't. That party is literally dead. We're watching a dead party. We were talking about that today.
That's an interesting angle because
why would they?
And that could be if this ends up being, let's say Carney gets the election that he wants. Let's say it backfires on him and they either they lose seats or maybe they even lose
disappears.
the election.
They disappear.
Well, because remember, a lot of the reason why they even have the minority government they do now is because of strategic voting. A lot of NDP voters left the NDP to vote Liberal, but that might have been just a one-shot deal for those people. They might go back to NDP in an election that comes up now, saying, "Hey, we never agreed to be permanent Liberal voters. That was a one-shot deal, and we're going back to the NDP now." And I'm not saying this will happen, but I'm just saying it's a potential scenario where, because when Mark Carney's in his head here, he's counting on all those votes for this election, and they may actually lose seats.
And not only that, but that's a point I was bringing up to the budget live earlier, is that if there is another election, because remember what we said, right? The Bloc Québécois was the biggest winner in the last election. They gained they gained a bunch of seats. And I guarantee you something, man. If the Liberals, somehow there's another election, they're going to lose big in Quebec. People are going to start voting for the Bloc Québécois because the Liberals didn't do shit for them. So they could lose a shit. So not only could the NDP literally disappear, because as you said, the people that voted for the Liberals are like, oh no, you know what? Maybe they'll revive. See, that would be bad, actually. The complete opposite.
What I mean.
If
it would be bad for the Liberals,
they do get a 10-20 riding in Canada.
Carney's counting on all.
Yeah,
those
you're right.
NDP
That's a good point. Yeah,
and they I think there's a lot of them who are thinking, yeah, I never permanently became a Liberal voter. That was a one-shot deal because it was that election or whatnot. And in theory, you could see the NDP gain back some of those seats, but that's gonna come at the expense of the Liberals. And I'm just saying that's one scenario where possibly Carney could really miscalculate here.
So there's 44 riding in Quebec that are under Liberals right now. 44. I guarantee you that there's another election. The Bloc is going to take a portion of those.
Yep.
Because the Bloc has 22. So the NDP has one. Obviously, who cares? The Liberals have 44. Conservatives have 11. And Bloc Québécois has 22. I don't see the Liberals aligning with the Conservatives, but they could easily align with the Bloc Québécois because they are for Quebec. Like, their leader doesn't care. He doesn't care about the rest of Canada. Couldn't give two
he doesn't
shits.
care about Canadian
He's there to represent Quebec interest. That's it. Doesn't care. So, man, that's true. I never thought about that. The NDP could regain some seats. And
it would be at the expense of the Libs, and same as the Bloc. The Bloc lost, even though they actually gained power, they lost seats. I don't know how many it was. Maybe you can remember
strategically to not elect the Conservative. And
I suspect they'll probably get a lot of their votes back as well. So Carney might really be, counting his chickens here before they hatch.
The skinniest loser.
Yeah. He might really be overplaying his hand here if he goes for this election, and I think he will. I think he wants this election.
Well, yeah, because that's a strategy that they can use in Canada. Trudeau did it. I can't remember when it was, but Trudeau was elected 3 times in 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So it was 3 or 4 times because he did play. He knew there was some scandals coming down. Let's do an election right now while I'm doing good. Because what's the political timeline is so fast. We forget so fast what people have done 6 months ago that by the time you vote again, people have forgotten. There's a lot more shit that's going to come down the pipe. They're going to forget about the old shit. They're just going to be worried about the new shit. You just need to make sure it's not your party, that it's other parties that are facing the shit while you're going into an election. So,
Yep. Because I think Carney's worried about, a year from now when they table their next budget, if that fails and go into an election a year from now, because then the economy, I think, is going to look a lot worse than it is now.
Yes.
And I think that's baked in. I don't think there's anything anybody could do today to change that. Like, that's going to happen. The economy, even if they start investing in all the things that we discuss here, investing in pipelines and oil and gas and mineral extraction, within 2 to 3 years, you're going to see those benefits and the economy will really take off. But 1 year from now, I think is baked in that it will be lower than it is now, even if 2 years from now it's higher.
It could be faster than that in a situation where you're kind of proving to private entities, to private investment, that Canadians will do the right thing to make money. So it could happen. It's not the government that's going to make it happen fast, but the private sector could. If you give them the confidence, and that's something that Nadine was talking about today, companies are not interested in voting into coming here because they don't know what the fuck the liberals are going to do. People are saying that Trump's a crazy person. Trump just wants to make money. So if you're a private business and you see a place where Trump could make money, you should go there. He'll give it to you. You'll be just fine. In Canada, the private corporations can't predict. They can't predict what the government is going to do right now because their opinions based on stupidity. They're trying to pass policies that make no sense in logic. So if you can't explain it logically, why the fuck would they invest their money there? So if they do turn it around, as in you get all part of the same bird, but hypothetical, it could happen if you gain their trust. If they feel they can trust you, they'll invest. But that's not the plan. It's not going to happen no matter what the party's in power.
Well, and with this Cowichan story, like, we're all talking about the homes that are being taken, but that's also a factor, right? What if you're a company and you've just built a $30 million factory and that block of land gets given to the local Indigenous tribe, right? Like,
don't build a golf course or a casino. Yeah. Don't do either.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I mean. Like, companies hate more than anything uncertainty. Right? If they have certainty, even if it's bad certainty, they'll still invest. Maybe not as much, but as long as they know what the rules are, even if the rules aren't great, they'll figure a way to make money. But if they don't know what's going to come down, they won't touch it. And that's where we are right now.
100%. Yep, you're bang on.
Spam bot fodder says Canada's economy will never recover once Alberta exits. If that happens, we're cooked. No, we are absolutely
agreed.
Cooked.
And you know what, man? I've never seen your name before, but I can tell you, as a guy from Montreal, I fucking agree that you guys should separate. Ottawa's fucked you for 10 years. Good riddance, man. I fully get it. I fucking understand. I understand. You guys need to separate. And if I do end up staying in Canada, it's the only province that both my wife and I agree that we would stay in is Alberta. So I feel.
Oh, if it came down that, like, because this stuff doesn't happen overnight. It's not like they just, like, if let's say the vote to leave passes, so we know they're going to leave. It's not like tomorrow they're gone. That stuff will take at least a year or 2 years.
I'm going tomorrow.
Oh yeah, there's going to be. And as long as they're in Canada, they can't say no to other Canadians. There's going to be a giant exodus towards Alberta.
I'm fucking buying a cowboy hat tomorrow.
Oh,
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Cowboy hat, cowboy boots. I just need a reason to wear cowboy boots. I want some.
Yeah. I'm loading up the car because it's the only place that there's going to be any wealth or any ability to make money. Canada is, we are basically, it's like we're like, what are those Siamese twins, conjoined twins, except one of them's dead. Alberta's like the living twin, just carrying the corpse of Canada around attached to their body.
No, actually, I have a better image for you. I saw a meme the other day. Oh, bro, I hope this is not true, that this is an exaggeration, but there was a picture of two Siamese twins stuck together.
Yeah.
And they're probably mid-50s. They're both in a wheelchair, and one of them is getting kissed by another dude. And the caption is, imagine being that guy pointing to the other dude, that his Siamese twin is in a gay relationship, and they share the same asshole. They have only one asshole.
Oh no!
This is how we've been fucking Alberta. This is how we've been. Alberta's the guy like, no, I don't want this. Sorry, Alberta.
Yeah.
That is such a great. You've never seen that meme? Oh man, I'm gonna try to find it right now.
Try to find. We'll close on that note. That would be so...
And it's kind of the face of the guy. You're just like,
bro, seriously?
See, and this is how easy it was to find it. Nothing like Siamese twin, gay, one asshole. That's what I Googled, and here it is. This is what
the gay one.
Hold on. I didn't share the right screen. There you go. This is the one right here. So look at this. So it's literally
these guys are these twins. Only one is gay. They share the same ass. So yeah, Alberta's on the left. Canada's on the right.
100%. And see, but I didn't notice that before, but look, the guy's arm is holding the guy that's not gay.
No.
Like, do you see that? His hands on his shoulder as he's kissing.
And he's gotta be there every time his brother gets out in the ass, and it's his ass.
This is definitely Ottawa. Ottawa's holding the shoulder of Alberta as they're fucking them. Yep, 100%.
So bad.
Sorry guys, but man, I love those things.
Yeah. All right, we're definitely gonna put a pin in there now before we get hauled off.
You're welcome for the image, by the way.
YouTube. Yeah. You guys are welcome. It'll be in your mind, in your mind's eye, the rest of the night. Guys, another excellent show as always. Some excellent conversation. If you guys would like to support the show, if you're new to the show and you like what Nico and I are doing and trying to build here, please consider becoming a member through YouTube. You can do that for the low price of $2.99 per month through it's near the chat function on your YouTube screen there, or you can also support the show by buying us a coffee, which is in the QR code in the top right of the screen. And you can also support the show just by coming back, and if you didn't comment today, if you're watching but didn't comment, as you can see, the show is heavily based on audience engagement. Really, we're just having a conversation with you guys. It's not just two yahoos talking. We're all kind of talking, having the same conversation, and that's what the show was based on. And so get those comments in tomorrow or the next day or whatever day you come back. If you agree with us, if you don't agree with us, we want to hear from you. That is another way you can support the show. Other than that, have a great rest of your night. Try to forget the image that we just burned into your brain. And we will see you tomorrow night. And in case you were able to scrub it, here it is again. Bye.
Yeah.